Good morning. Happy New Year. So excited to be here. How is it going so far? This is officially my first live stream of 2021. Hello, 2021. Hello, everybody. So excited for a new year. And, as before I even started, I said I'm going to start the morning with you guys because we are here. We made it. My last video was just really about some of the things to bring into 2021, and I've taken the first 4 days to settle in for myself and to just really get some bearing. And for those of you who have not met me, my name is Joan Muturi. I'm a coach for women. I squeeze every drop of potential out of you. My belief and mantra is that if you do not honor your life purpose, you are suffocating your soul. And my calling is to make sure that you really get to live your one royal life with boldness and courage, and to take your position, whatever it is, in this world, in this universe, and just thrive and push yourself to be the best that you can be. I believe that a lot of us are held by debilitating, limiting beliefs that stop us from being fully expressive of who we were called to be. And once we break those mindset patterns, debilitating thoughts, activities, let me tell you what, that is where the freedom comes. So if you're going to watch through via replay, please say hello. If you are catching me live, say hello. I'm just happy to be here today. And I want to give some 10 tips as to some of the things I have observed as a coach, especially now that we are at the beginning of a new year, that could potentially inhibit you from being fully expressive of the calling, for you to fully live your purpose, for you to fully activate your calling. There's some things that you need to address. There's some things you need to look at. And as I said, for me, one of the critical components that I always encourage my clients to look at is mindset. And as you hop in, please say hello. It's always nice to see you guys hopping in. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Wish me Happy New Year. This is the first video of the year, and I just felt so compelled this morning. And Kata is in. Thank you. Happy New Year. And for me, one of the things that as I said, I've come to recognize is, when you renew your mind, when you take control of your thoughts, when you take charge of the direction it is that you want your life to go, and determine, what, this is not a negotiable. This is not, forget, we're doing this, we're going for it. That's exactly what manifests. But if you're like, those of you who don't know, right now I'm in the United Kingdom, and we have gone yet today into a huge lockdown. And I remember last year's lockdown, I froze. I remember I was so scared. Let's not use the word scared. I was like, it was so uncertain for me. I didn't know what would happen. But during that lockdown, some of the most beautiful things were born in my life, including my Dear Sister Circle, which is my membership. And like, my creativity really just opened up. I was able to, to establish new ways of doing things in my business. I was able to deeply connect with people. It was in that lockdown time that I created a support group called Salt and Light, which started with, just as a small thing that I was being called to do, and has since grown and taken a life of its own. You're the salt and you're the light. I say, Miss Katrina, and just understanding that do not despise the days of small beginnings. For me, I can tell you, you don't just wake up one day and I'm so glad you're here. You don't just wake up one day and things have just burst forth. It is the one step that leads to the next. It is the one connection that leads to the second connection. It's the first step of courage that you take that leads to the second step. It is the first person that you meet who believes in what it is that you have to offer, that gives you confidence, and then you meet another one, and the next thing you know, you are actually creating a movement. You are actually creating a brand. You are actually self-expressing, and in the process, as you self-express, allow others to express themselves. But it takes that first decision of, you know what, this is my plan A, it is not a plan B. So as I said, the first lockdown, I was like, what is this? And I was going through my things. I found a gift that somebody gave me at a conference I attended when we used to go for real person events. It was a conference in London called Squeeze, and as I was decluttering, I found this key from that conference, and on it, so funny, it has a Bible verse, Isaiah 41:10. It says, fear not, for I am with you. And I found it yesterday when I was asking myself, what is this next phase of the lockdown? What will it look like? And then I got this reminder and this key, and it's literally just going to position itself in my office now as a daily reminder. So let me tell you this, guys. Winnie is here. Say hello. Kat is here. Yeah. The domino effect, that's what it is. And then you reach the point, the tipping point, where it's literally a snowball. You know, you go picking up. But you have to remember that it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. So I want to give you some pointers that I give that I said in my weekly email that I know will help somebody today. Because when I go back to that time almost a year ago, where I didn't know what the year would lead to, and it led to one of the most productive and most abundant years for me, 2020. In so many ways, it had its lows, I've talked about that, but it had its extreme highs, which I must also acknowledge. And I'm also looking forward to a really, really, really amazing 2021. So those of you who are on this side of the world, we are locked down, fear not. Fear not, for I am with you. Take charge of your calling, take charge of your purpose, take charge of the small beginning. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. And that's why I have woken up to start with this video. And I've actually already had an accountability call with a couple of my friends around what needs to be done. And I'm like, you know what, I need to do bam, 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 bam. And one of the things that said, I'm going to start with this message of encouragement because somebody needs it. My first video on the 5th day of January is exactly what I wanted, to just give myself time to settle into the year. The first 4 days, have been pretty good, and I'm excited. Now let's go to what I have for you, so that I want you to understand this. If surviving was your 2020 theme, for most of us, it was like, let's just survive 2020. I want us to flip the switch. I want us to say that 2021 is the year that we're going to change our theme to thriving. So if you survived in 2021, say to yourself that I will thrive I survived in 2020, I will thrive in 2021. So please put that in the comments, whether you come in live or you watch via replay, because I know very many people will catch the replay. Please write, I am thriving in 2021. And whoever is with me can do that, please, so that you can profess it with your mouth. You can send it out to the atmosphere that this is the year that you are thriving. So write that in the comments, I am thriving in 2021. So it may sound cliche, new year, new mindsets, new dreams, new desires, but that's what I want to say for you. So may this year welcome for you new mindsets. May it welcome for you new thrills. May it welcome for you fresh insights. May it welcome for you deep connections. May it welcome for you great possibilities. May it open up for you fresh desires, and may it give you a sense of renewed purpose. That's my dream. That's my desire. Don't ask me to repeat them because they've come from my heart. Go for it. This is the time. And let me tell you what, guys, when you believe and you put that, like what Winnie has written. Winnie, it's sealed, it is done. And those of you who have asked to write, please write it. I am thriving in 2021. If you survived in 2020, that's okay. We all survived, but let's say that 2021 we are thriving. That is my message, and I'm also going to type it in after the video. So as I talk to my clients, I've noticed and come up with like 10 categories, which I'm going to take you through, of what really holds people back from fully living out their calling. And what most people's problems come in the following categories of: not enough, I don't have enough money, so I'm going to delay my destiny, I'm going to delay my calling because I do not have enough money, I do not have enough time, my time is stretched out, I don't have time to do that, I don't have time for the other. So time, money. The third one is resources. So I get a lot of people coming to me and saying, I don't have the support, I don't have the energy, I don't have the backup, the energy and the support, I don't have a system to help me do the thing that I need to do. And I want to tell you this: where there is a will, there is a way, and there is a way that you can figure it out. Kagure is in, and she says she's filled with wisdom in 2021. It is so, and so it is. What you declare from your mouth, you seal it, and I seal it with you, and I'm in agreement with you that that's what it is for you. So I always say this: all those things can be true, but those things will not help you fulfill your destiny. Let me tell you, there's never a time somebody will say, I have enough money to do blah, 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 or I have enough time. We have the same 24 hours, the same 24 hours that Barack Obama has, or Donald Trump, or Uhuru Kenyatta, or Boris Johnson, or whoever, are the same 24 hours that you and I also have. It's to really understand what you give priority to. And I always tell people that where you pay attention to is what really matters to you. The things that you give attention to is what truly counts to you. So if you put 100% of your attention to time-wasting activities, then that's what matters to you. But if you put your attention to growing you, to developing you, to enriching you, to expanding you, then that's the self-fulfilling prophecy that will happen in your life. So I want to say this: the problems that you think are the problem are not the problem. It's not about you not having enough money. It's not about you not having the support. It's not about you not having the time. It's not about those things. It's about the following things I'm going to share about with you. And I want you to keep them top of mind this year. Come to this video again and again. And if you get a golden nugget, put it in the comments, because it will always help somebody. I always say that information is to be shared. It's not to be hoarded. If I hoarded all the information I had, I think my head would just be bursting, because I believe things have to flow out of me for more to flow into me. It has to flow out of me to flow in. And I believe in expansiveness and abundance. That's what I believe in, that when I give, I also receive. And that he who refreshes others will also be refreshed. That has been my belief, and it has proved itself true over and over again. And I want to encourage you to be the same. If a golden nugget fills your mind and you're like, this can help somebody, put it in the comments stream. It doesn't cost you anything, but you know what? You will be pouring into somebody else. So let's go to the top things so that I can give you these tips before I get into my first session for today, and just about half an hour, but I'll be done in the next few minutes, hopefully. So the first one I want you to look out for is tunnel vision. What is tunnel vision? The tendency to focus only on the immediate crisis or the sore spot. So something is happening in your life right now. It's a crisis. Your full attention is there, that you do not see everything else happening. So for example, right now, as I said, we've gone into a major lockdown in this country. That can be where, it is where most people's minds are. Like, what will happen? What next? Blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, when you operate from a place of tunnel vision, and get this from me, my darlings, because of the level of stress as you focus on that thing, it becomes more expanded. It becomes more complex than it really is. when you pay attention to something, it says where your focus goes, right? Attention flows. So if you give full attention to that thing, that's where your attention goes, and it becomes much more magnified than it really is. So for me, I'm like, in the last lockdown, what did I do? I launched Salt and Night. Salt and Night expanded. The Dear Sister Circle expanded. What can I create in this time? What can I allow myself to be used of in this season, and how can I support my clients to really blossom? You know, my courses are opening up next week, and you know, after this, Winnie, the people doing CCC and all these courses, you're hearing from me today because we are going big. I want you to use this time to really develop and push yourselves in ways that you've not done before, and this is the perfect time to do that. I always say it doesn't matter when you do it. Doesn't matter whether it's June, whether it's January, whether it's March. The time you start, you start. But why not use this energy right now that you have of the beginning of the year, where you're like, I don't know, last year we survived, but this year I'm thriving, and enter into thriving mode right now. So, you know, one of the things I'm doing right now is chatting with people about how I can support them around their purpose, their calling, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to put the link to book the call. But I want to tell you this: tunnel vision, that thing that is keeping you looking at the complexity of the situation, the immediate crisis. How do you solve that? It is by perspective. Tunnel vision is sorted through change of perspective. Ask yourself, will it really matter in 6 months? Ask yourself, outside of the lockdown, what else is going on? For me, as you know, I have things happening in my personal life that I'm very excited about, but also in my business. And I'm like, you know what? This is the time. I've been created for such a time as this to do blah, blah, blah. I am the salt and I am the light. What does the salt and the light do? It's not hidden. This is not the time to hide. This is not the time to shrivel back. This is not the time to start asking yourself, oh my God, what? This is the time for you to look the thing in the eye and say, you know what? I have the creativity, I have the energy, I have the foresight. I'm going for it. And then ask yourself another question when it comes to tunnel vision. How did this situation happen, and how can I resolve it? Right? How would I resolve it in a perfect world? So listen, nobody brought COVID-19. You know what I mean? Like, it just came, it found us minding our own business, right? But it will not stop you from doing what you are called to do, because what you are called to do was set for you before the foundations of the earth. So COVID or no COVID, your purpose will still prevail. But you have to believe that. You have to take possession of that, and you have to put in the work to make sure that whatever is yours. Like, you take it by fire, you take it by force. Second thing is fear. Woo! Many of us are still traumatized by 2020, and we are literally crawling into 2021 with one eye open, like this one, you know. And as I get the opportunity to speak to lots of people, and I just hopped off a call, as I said, with some of my accountability group ladies, and they were saying that, you know, they're treading in with caution. One of them said she has not wished anybody a happy new year because she's like, I'm not sure, but I'm walking in with conviction that it's a happy new year. It will be a strange year. It will be a strange year, get that. And, you know, one of my mentors said it. She said that it will be strange. It will bring things with it that, you know, we don't know, nobody anticipates. But it will also be an amazing and most delightful year. So strange is not a bad word. It's just not normal, because we are still not out of the woods, as generally the entire world. But we can look at it in terms of perspective. It's strange times, but even in strange times, we can prosper and make that your reality. So listen, fear needs to go out. Anxiety, those debilitating thought patterns I started talking about at the beginning, watching the news and hearing about the second wave could be worse than the first wave. All these things you listen to, they enter your subconscious mind and they drain you. What I want you to do is ask yourself, How is this serving me by putting all this news into my ears, all this negative stuff? How is this serving me? The reality is, whatever will happen will happen. Que sera, sera. That has always been my philosophy. But trust and believe. Go back to what I shared at the beginning. The key that somebody gave me, that fear not, for I am with you. Because when you operate from a place of fear, fear will trigger so many other things. You will become so paralyzed. You won't do anything as pertains to where the things that you desire to achieve. Fear brings paralysis. Fear brings procrastination. Fear stops us from living out what we've been called out to live out. So understanding that it's all outside of your control, and the only thing you have is how you react. So how do I choose to react? I choose to react by showing up for you guys. I choose to react by continuing to run my business and do my affairs, knowing that I am fully supported. Knowing that every desire that has been put in me for a reason, and I am here for such a time as this to accomplish that which will be accomplished only through me. So I need to pull my weight so that because on the other side of my obedience, as I always say, there are people waiting. And if I don't pull my weight, somebody is being held up on the other side. I don't want to be the reason for anybody else's hold up. So I don't want you to be the reason for somebody else to hold up somebody else's destiny to be fulfilled. So pull your weight, irrespective of what's happening in the world. So look at fear in the eye, and what's the solution for fear? I always say it's curiosity. And for those of you who are hopping in, please just say hello. And of course, if you're watching via replay, say #replay. I love my replay viewers, and I just appreciate everybody who takes the time to not only watch but also share the video. So if you feel so compelled, it will help somebody, do feel free to share this video. I always say that any situation in life is really life or death. They say it's life or death. It's not, right? Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? What can I learn from what's happening right now in my world? What would I do if I had no fear? What would I do if I had no fear? Ask yourself that question. And then, what can I do today with what I have? It's in your hand. I believe you guys have seen that forward. What is in your hand, right? What do you have in your hand? What do you have in your brain? What do you have in your heart? Ask yourself those questions. Write it down in your notebook. Because when you determine that, as Kagure said, we shall come out strong if we remain focused on God and our calling. God is for us, but we also have to be for ourselves. Because many people dump everything on God. Like, oh, if God wills, and then just sit down and do nothing. But yes, God wants us to succeed and He wills us to succeed. But we also have to pull our weight, and focus on what it is that we are here to do. Because every good and perfect gift comes from above. And when that gift comes to you, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with your gifts? What are you doing with your talents? I know such gifted people, godly people, who just sit on their talents. And they're always complaining, I have no money, I have nothing, yet they are so richly gifted in so many things, but they don't use it. Why? Because fear is holding them back, because of procrastination, because of self-doubt, because their self-confidence levels are so low they don't believe in themselves. Yet God Himself believes so much in you that He gave you those gifts, and because He gave those gifts to you, He put them in you because He expected you to use them. Let's keep going. Number 3 is another thing that I want you to address this year. Most people talk about confusion. I'm confused. I have no clarity. Confusion is that sense of being lost or unclear about our life direction. And, I don't have a sense of my priorities anymore. What is the solution? The solution of confusion is making responsible choices. So understand, what are your values? What are your non-negotiables? What are the things that you truly stand for? Because once you have such clarity when it comes to your values and your priorities, everything else flows. So I have 5 values myself that underpin everything I do. The first one is my faith. My business, my faith, my family, they're all interconnected. Faith. The second one I have is purpose. Purpose leads everything that I do. I say my purpose is to help you find your purpose, because the day I found out my own purpose, I was 1,000,000% liberated. My third one is freedom. Freedom to me is so important. The freedom to express myself, the freedom to teach, the freedom to live true to my calling, the freedom to just be me. Freedom. The freedom to make the money that I want, serving the people that I've been called to serve, and to just really be myself. That's my third one, freedom. Fourth value is abundance. I believe we live in an abundant universe, that there's enough for every one of us. I do not believe in scarcity at all, and I always say that for me, everything just has to flow in and through me. And as it flows in and through me, I'm open to receiving so much more, because what is given to me, as I expand, the more I have, the more I can give. Does that make sense? The more I have, the more I can give. And the more that I attract to me is what, as I expel it to others, the ripple effect goes down, because as I'm given, I release, and as I release, those are releasing to others. There has to be that flow. And that's why I strongly believe in abundance of health, abundance of wealth, abundance of relationships, abundance of everything. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Abundant. We live in an abundant universe. One of my affirmations is, the more I have, the more I have. The more I have, the more I have. So let yourself stop being confused. Get clear on your values. That's my fourth value. And my fifth value is excellence. When I go out, I give from my heart. I don't do half-baked stuff. When I'm giving, I give all. 150, 200%, 1,000,000%. Why? Because I don't believe in lackluster things. Lackluster yields lackluster. Excellence yields excellence. So for me, my fifth value is excellence. So after call number 3, which is confusion. So check your moral compass. Pick a direction and go out and do something extraordinary. And if you're confused, book a clarity call with me. And, we can see how we can help you really get clear on your life direction and what you need to do this year, so that when you look at the other side, come out on the other side, you can say it was extraordinary. There's a thing that I saw somewhere and I shared it on social, where it says that, God brings the super and your natural, and together, you will bring out the supernatural. So there has to be that collaboration, but that collaboration cannot come from a place of confusion. Number 4 is guilt. I'm not even going to go deep into this, because many women, many human beings have been hurt. We failed the fields that they've been sinned against, or have sinned and deserve to be punished. The solution is understand that we are forgiven if we have transgressed. We must admit our human shortcomings, ask for forgiveness, learn from those errors, and move on. What happened, happened. You hurt somebody or you are hurt. Release, forgive, move on. Don't hold on to the guilt of the past. We all are human. We all are flawed. Some of us have made huge mistakes in our life, and it's normal. The problem would be you staying where you are because of something that happened a year ago, 10 years ago. Some of us are even held back by the guilt of 20 years ago. Why are you holding yourself hostage? I want to tell you this. Set it down. Set it down and don't carry that irrational burden anymore. It's time for you to move on. And what a perfect time at the beginning of the year to release yourself from all those feelings of guilt. And do not allow yourself to be held back. Pursue what it is that you're meant to do. We said this is the year that we are thriving. Another one that is so closely linked to shame, which to guilt, is shame, which is the 5th point. And shame is the belief that we are not worthy, that we have a terrible, incurable flaw. It is not that we have done something wrong is the guilt, but that inherently we are bad or we are wrong. That's what shame does to us. And I'm not going to go deep into the therapy or the psychology of shame, but shame is what holds many women back from living out, again, their calling. So what is the solution to shame? Clear, rational thinking. Everyone, listen to this and put it if you can on the comments. Everyone has behaved badly, but no one was created badly. Get that? We've all done something that has brought shame to us, but that's not how inherently we were created. And I want us to go back to the inherently how God created us. He did not create us to be guilty or to live a life of shame. And no, none of us is without flaw. We all have flaws, we all have weaknesses, we all have shortcomings. But many people allow themselves to be held hostage forever because of this guilt and this shame. So I want you to know that any flaws that you have, look at them with compassion, because flaws only serve to make you stronger. They only serve to make you more compassionate towards others. When I look at myself as the flawed human being I am, I'm more compassionate towards other people, because I realize, you know what, Joanne, you're not perfect. And because you're not perfect, other people are not perfect. And because other people are not perfect, I cannot put myself above other people. I look at them with compassion and I look at them with love, just as they are looking at me with the same love and compassion. So I'm talking about 10 areas that you should look at this year that stop you from really going big. These are the things that make most people live mediocre lives. These are the things that make people to play small. So I talked about tunnel vision, I talked about fear, I talked about confusion, I've talked about guilt, and I've talked about shame. And the next thing that I want you to look at is loneliness. And this is the belief that no one loves us. You can be in a relationship, but you're still lonely. Loneliness is separate from being alone. Like right now, I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm with you guys. I'm surrounded. But you can be even with people and you're lonely. And it's a feeling that no one cares sometimes. And you just cling to anybody that you find, finds you attractive or acceptable. And that's how people find themselves with the wrong partners, for example. Because out of loneliness, you make a desperate decision. And what loneliness does is that it creates, and I'm not talking only about relationships between, say, a husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, those things. No, I'm talking about even in friendships. You just pick anybody because you want that void to be filled. And what that does, it creates dependency, not intimacy. What I look for in my relationships is intimacy. Even with my friends, I want to feel so connected with them. I want to trust them. I want to be loyal to them and them being loyal back to me. I don't want a dependent relationship with anybody. So what I want you to look at is, in those areas of loneliness, what is the solution? Accurate self-assessment. Not everyone will love you. That's a fact. Not everybody will find you like you're the business. That's a fact, and that's okay. But many people will love you. Many people, when they meet you and they get to know, will want to spend time with you. Many people will get connected to your virtues, will get connected to your values. They will love you. And I always say, those who are for you are so much more than those who are against you. But as human beings, we focus on the ones who are not for us. You have 100 people who love you, but the one person who bitches about you or talks rubbish about you is the one you focus on. Whereas you're surrounded by so much love, you're surrounded by an abundance of beautiful relationships, and you focus on the 1-2 people who really are not adding to your bottom line. And that's why I say sometimes you just have to shred, you just have to purge, you just have to release, you just have to let it go. And it's okay. It's okay. Not everyone has to stay. Even the branches on the tree, and I've talked about this in previous videos, when they become dry, they dry and they fall off, and it's okay. And the tree now, as it sheds the branches, it's being pruned, and as it's pruned, it's giving it fresh life, it's giving it, freshness. And when it comes out so much better. So part of this pruning of these people and these relationships is so that it creates a vacuum, so that when the vacuum is created, it can be filled with so much better. Guys, talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. I see little eyes there, and I'm like, are they there? Are they hearing? But even if you're just here lacking, sitting, listening, it's okay. But I want you to introspect. Not everybody who will love you, but know those who love you truly do. And those are the ones you should be focusing on. Number 7, these are the things that are blocking us, are holding us back from really doing what we were put here to do, is holding anger and refusing to move beyond real or imagined mistreatment in the past, operating from a place of resentment, living as a victim rather than a victor, nurturing a terrible event that happened in your past. There's nobody who's not traumatized. We've all been traumatized. Look at 2020, traumatized all of us, right? To a large extent. Childhood trauma, things that have happened to you as you're growing up, from people who you thought would be, that would look after you, or were entrusted with your life, and maybe disappointed you or let you down or did something horrendous to you, right? But let me tell you what. Everybody has some degree of trauma in their lives, so knowingly or unknowingly, that has been picked up along as we grow up. Either from childhood, even your teenage years, or even as adults, even in marriages or relationships, you will pick up traumatic things and you'll be like, what is this? But I want you to hear this, my darlings. Let trauma not define you. Let trauma not stop you from doing what you need to do. And I always say there's no shame in getting therapy. There's no shame in getting counseling. There's no shame in getting the help that you need. Because until trauma, I always say that one of the biggest blocks to us living our purpose is unhealed trauma. Can someone write that for me? But understanding that once this trauma is recognized for what it is and is healed, then you're opening up yourself to also using that trauma to help others like yourself. My purpose was born out of my pain, out of the place where I was deep. My deepest, darkest point in life is where my purpose was born. But because I allowed myself to heal through that trauma and to look at it for what it is and to analyze it, shred it, break it down into everything and conceive it, cry all the tears that I needed to cry, and then say, you know what? It happened, but it's in the past. Now let me use the lessons to not only inspire and motivate others, but to help others get out of their own heads, get out of their own trauma, and build such beautiful lives. And as a result of my own pain, I have built a brand that I'm so proud of. I have served hundreds of clients, coaching clients who have also been healed of their own trauma. And me, myself, I'm just an open book, living my life and loving it. Why? Because I said to myself, I'm not going to allow myself to be held back by the past. So the solution is let go. Life is not fair. And people do not always treat us with love, with respect, and with dignity. Get a good therapist, get a good coach, get a good mentor, and get a good counselor, and allow your trauma to make you wiser, kinder, more gentle, and strong. Trauma strengthens us. Let's see, Sagal. Hi, darling. She says, I'm here listening, and my favorite part is that we focus on people who talk badly about us, and we have so many that speak positively about us. Let me tell you what, Sagal, I would not be here if I was focusing on the negative people. They'll always be there, but those who are for us are so much more. There are so many more. than the ones against us. So I'm glad that you got that. That you're loved by 100 people, 200, but the 1, 2 who bitch about you, talk badly about you, are the ones you give attention to. And remember, as I said, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the 2 who are stressing you versus the 100, 200 who love you, that's exactly what you'll feel in your life. So for me, I'm just like, it's life. Some love me, some may not, and it's okay. But let's go on with what we need to do, and I pay my attention to those who are for me and drop off the rest. And that's how it is. Number 8, let's talk to this one, because this is one of the ones that holds women back mainly. So girl, I hope you're listening to me, and those of you who are here, thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. I love it. Share the video if it helps you. This is my first video of 2021, and I want you to know these are the things that block us from being the best that we can be, from living our epic life, and from fulfilling our destiny the way we are supposed to. 10 blocks, 10 hindrances, and I'm taking you through them. And now we're at number 8. I talked about tunnel vision, I talked about fear, I talked about confusion, I talked about guilt, I talked about shame, I talked about loneliness, I've talked about resentment, and now we're going to number 8, which is self-doubt. What is self-doubt? You're always repeatedly questioning your abilities, your opinions or actions. I want to do this. Oh, but should I not? Oh, I was thinking about doing this, but now, now we're in lockdown. I don't know how it will work. You're wishy-washy. You doubt yourself. You're here today, I'm doing this, and then tomorrow you wake up, oh, no, I'm not really sure about it. And then you go dipping your feet into the water. Are you dipping your feet or you're diving? For me, I am diving. Let's dive. We'll know what we'll find in the water. But when you dip your toes, you wouldn't know. I stopped dipping my toes a long time ago. I'm like, you know what? Let's go. Let's get with it. Let's get the lesson. If it's not going to work, let it not work early. Then me having to fix things later. I always say, go ugly early. Say to yourself that I'll pick the lessons now so that at least I can get the lessons and move on quickly. Where am I postponing the lesson to a year from now? Let me get it now so that I can fix it now. Are you getting what I'm saying? And when you start doubting yourself, you delay so many things. You delay yourself from achieving so many things. So I want you to take a stand. I want you to act boldly. I want you to follow through, because many people I know are starters but never finishers. You start something, yeah, I'll start. Never finishing. Are you a starter and never a finisher? All this comes from self-doubt. All this comes from you not taking a stand in what you believe in, even if the stand is not popular. Self-doubt is the inability to take a stand, to act boldly, or to follow through. Start and finish. Make mistakes early. Go ugly early. So that you can tweak, adjust, move on. Other than saying, okay, I'm not sure about it, and then you postpone the inevitable. If you're going to screw up now and fix it now, then waiting to screw up a year or 2 years from now. Because you get my point. Do it now and fix it now rather than delaying. That delayed activity will not help anybody, because you still need to do it anyway. You will still do it. Why delay? Start small. I started that at the beginning. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. We are only in January 4th. Last year, January 5th, this date, I'm just sharing with you guys. I opened up an account. On those of you in Kenya know I'm Shwari, and I would put in little money, and to date matured, and I'm not going to disclose on the video, but I could not believe I had saved that much money in a year through little every week, every other day. Money comes, I put in, and today I got this huge lump sum. Why? Little, start small, but do it. Open up your savings account today. So it's mature today, so I'm opening the new one today. And what I'm doing, because I saw what the other year did and now last year, so this year I'm doubling it. Why? Because I have seen the impact of incremental steps, as Winnie said, the domino effect. I saw that I could save with with consistency and dedication that amount. What about now saying to myself, you know what, Joanne, you did that without even that much of a struggle. Why? And I said last year was surviving, now this year we're thriving. So if I'm thriving, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna double the amount. So I'm opening it up in full faith and confidence that I'm gonna double the amount that I saved. Why? Because I'm not doubting myself. Start small but do it. You are the world's expert on your own life. I keep saying I'm a coach, but you're your own coach. When I talk to my clients, the first thing I say, what do you feel? Before I tell you my opinion, what is your spirit telling you? Many times, even with my own coaches, they've told me, go this direction, do this or the other. And in my heart, I'm listening, and I sit still and meditate. And I'm like, that's not the path. Let's do this other one. And I follow my own instinct. I follow my own leading. I follow the direction I'm being led. And that's exactly where I should be. And many times when I have overridden, me being my expert at my own life, is when the shocks and the disappointments have come. So use your own wisdom. Use your own intuition. Yes, I'm for coaching. I love it. I've always been coached. I've never not had a coach. And I always tell my clients, always have a coach, because a coach sees you. I say you cannot shave your own head. Even the best barber cannot see behind here. Even the best weaver cannot see here. She cannot do it for herself. You need a third eye. But even with the third eye, exercise wisdom. Use your own intuition to live your life with boldness and courage. Number 9 is stubbornness. Many of us are held back and are living mediocre lives, playing small because of your own stubbornness, feeling that you know it all. And the refusal, you're downright refusing to assess a situation, change your mind, or even admit that you're wrong. If you've done something and gotten the same results year in, year out, doesn't that show you there's a problem? And then you're still insisting on doing it the same way again and again and again, that's stubbornness. The refusal or inability to reassess a situation, change your mind, or admit that you're wrong. There is nothing wrong with admitting that you're wrong. What is the solution to stubbornness? It's humility. Only a fool stays on a course that is headed for disaster. It has not worked in the past. Why do you think it will happen with this? They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and thinking and expecting different results. Why are you acting from a place of insanity? Why are you feeling that it's going to be different this time round? If over and over it has not worked with the way you're thinking, why not get a fresh perspective? So for me, I have learned to be humble. Because those who are humble are exalted. I admit to myself I do not know everything. But I get a coach to support me through the things that I do not know. I get help in the areas that I'm not good at. I am not a monopoly at information or knowledge. I am not. And I'm very, very open to saying that. So the things that I do not know, I get help. Search for new and better information. Remain flexible. Be open to creativity. Get fresh perspectives from a coach. Get fresh perspectives from your mentor. Get fresh perspectives from your peers. And when the situation finally changes, adjust accordingly and set a new course. Stop being stubborn. The last one is that makes us not allow ourselves to be pruned. That stops us from sparkling and really going for it. that stops us from being unstoppable, right? For me right now, I'm unstoppable. I'm in a place like, it's another place that we talked about, the snowball effect. I'm going for it. I'm like, my mind is like, you know what, lockdown or no lockdown, no, I'm going for it. I'm maintaining the momentum. I'm maintaining the speed. I'm not in a state of inertia. No, I'm moving forward. And those of you who are ready to move on, we move together. So many opportunities. I'll put the link to book a call. But I want to say this, that don't allow your 2021 to be like your 2020. It's time for you to expand. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to be audacious, for you to be bold. So the last point is, what are you addicted to? Are you addicted to the struggle? Are you addicted to staying the way you are? Are you addicted to alcohol? Are you addicted to food? Are you addicted to sex? Are you addicted to your phone? What is it you're addicted to? But remember, even those things I've mentioned, it's so easy to become addicted to your job. It's so easy to get addicted to your business. Sometimes I say, I love my business so much. It's my calling. I love it. I do it morning, evening. I love it. But I also have to reach a point where I say to myself, this is where I start and this is where I end. This is my starting point in the morning, and there's a point it has to stop. Otherwise, it just becomes a continuous thing. Being addicted to your own opinions or your lifestyle. Anything can be an addiction. We can be addicted even to people, and you start needing somebody rather than loving them. You become dependent on them because you're addicted to them. What is the solution to addiction? I'll give you a few. Take an occasional time solo. Break away from all those things and just retreat by yourself. I was talking to one of my clients yesterday, and she said to me that one of the things she's decided is she'll be doing a quarterly get away, without her kids, without anybody, just her. Retreat. Take a social media break every so often. We are addicted to our phones. Sometimes I'm literally just doing something and I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? And I'm so frantic about it. Sometimes just leave that phone, forget about it, leave it. Like, just get rid of these addictions that I'm talking about. And then also put yourself in somebody else's shoes. When you see somebody that person you're saying is addicted to whatever, put yourself in their minds, in their shoes, and think, can you imagine what it is to be chained, what it is like to be chained by those things? And then get help to break those habits. Some of those habits, you may need external help, right? You may need somebody else to really look at them critically and show you, do this, do the other. Because I keep saying that, if you've not helped, if nothing has changed until now, what makes you think it will change itself? You probably need somebody to come and support you in that change. And then also you can rearrange your schedule. So for me, as I said, I can't work 24/7 anymore. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't excite me. So I have a starting point and I have an ending point. And end point is literally, boom, shut the computer. Not like this, turn it off. And then delegation. Delegate stuff, what you're not good at. You don't have to do everything. And even what you're good at, you don't have to do it all. Delegate. Declutter. Liberate yourself. Use habits and traditions to set you free, not to enslave you. Get that? Use your habits and traditions, the things that you've always done, to set you free, not to enslave you. So which of these do you really resonate with? Sagal put the one that she resonated with was about the people one. And I just want to throw this to you. Be kind to yourself this year. Be compassionate to yourself this year. But at the same time, understand that you can't repeat the cycles. There are cycles that have to be broken. There are cycles that are not pushing you forward. There are cycles that are not yielding results. And be true to yourself and say, this is not helping me. What do I need? Who do I need to be to move from where I am to where it is that I want to go. So for those of you who are looking for a coach, have a few slots open right now, and I'm going to put the link to book a call with me, non-obligatory call. I never force anybody to sign up for anything, but we just have a call around your desires, your next steps, and to really see what would be a good fit for you, if at all. And if it's a good fit for both of us, we proceed. If it's not, it's okay. We've at least connected and had a chat. That's good enough, isn't it? So I'm gonna leave this video, and if you just hopped in, watch from the beginning, 10 things that you need to look out for that would stop you, that make us play small, that stop us from really living our lives as God intended us to, that abundant life, that enlightened life, that expansive life, that epic life. 10 things. Listen to the expounding of them. It is tunnel vision. We've talked about fear, we've talked about confusion, we've talked about guilt, we've talked about shame, we talked about loneliness, resentment, we talked about how self-doubt pushes us back by, you know, when you're questioning your abilities, your opinions or actions, and not taking a stand for what you believe in, or even following through, being a starter and not a finisher. All that is in this video. How stubbornness distracts you from really living your life, and how only a fool stays on a course that is headed for disaster. Right? Get help. Be open to help. Be open to other solutions. And the last one was addictions. We all have addictions, whether we believe it or not. There are things we're addicted to: social media, phones, as I said, our businesses, our careers could be addictions. Our kids could be our addictions. Some people are addicted to alcohol, sex, tobacco, whatever it is. Your lifestyle could be an addiction. Think about it. You could be addicted to anything and you don't even recognize it as an addiction. So look at it for what it is. And then I've given you the steps to liberate yourself from the addictions. And I finished by saying that use these habits and traditions to set you free and not to enslave you. So on that note, that is my first official video of 2021. We will do many more. I just feel delighted and honored that on this 5th day of January, I get to just really welcome us all into this year. And I'm walking in with such openness and belief that yes, 2020 we survived, we pushed, we, you know, literally every day was about how will I make it to tomorrow and all that. Some of us thrived in 2020. We were, you know, we were expanded and stretched. That was me. I grew in so many ways last year, but this is about thriving. I'm not looking back, and I know, as I said at the beginning, it will be a strange year. It will bring things that we're not sure of, like anything in life. But you know what? Even in the years of famine, you can thrive. Even in the years of famine, you can be the one that will be the trailblazer, the change maker. You can be the one who will be the catalyst for yourself and for your family and for those around you. And that's who I choose to believe that I am, that I've been called to really squeeze the potential out of everybody that comes my way, and to help people to really believe bigger, and yeah, to move forward. Yeah, no looking back. We don't want to look back and turn into a pillar of salt. We want to forge forward. We want to look forward. We want to focus on good things. We want to do what is noble. But at the same time, we want to develop momentum so that we can accomplish that which we were put here on earth to do, so that at the end of it, what I'm looking forward to hear is, Joanne, good and faithful servant. You ran the race and you did extremely well. That's my prayer every single day. And then I get my crown. Why? Because I did. And I loved, and I gave, and I expressed, and I served, and I lived. And that's exactly what I desire for you. All right? See you, everybody, very soon. Happy New Year again. And this is our year, not to just survive. Nope. But to thrive. Let's flip that switch. See you soon, guys. Share the video, tag a friend, replay people say hashtag replay, but it's my pleasure and delight to always turn up and share with you. And as I said, I have my key that I got last year, and I'll always go back to it, and it says, somebody gave it to me as a gift, and it says, "Fear not, for I am with you." This is my leading mantra, and the key will always stay by my side, to in my handbag wherever I go, just to remind me of those facts. So I pass the same over to you, and I just want you to be kind to yourself this year, be gracious to yourself this year, but again, be open to growth, be open to just really expressing yourself, and operate from a place of hope and faith and joy. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye. Bye.